The work permit allows you to enter the UAE and stay for 2 months until your employer finishes your residence permit, which would be valid for 2 years or 1 year depending on your contract. Lots of guys actually DM me, people DM me, others send me messages via Facebook and stuff like that, wanting to know if they could get direct employment from the UAE. For that one, I can't promise you, because lately it has been very difficult to find jobs here. Lots of the people here in the country are unemployed due to the fact that, what fact is it? I have no idea why there is scarcity of jobs here in the UAE these days, especially to people who are unskilled. But trust me, if you're skilled and you're good at something, or at least if you're hardworking enough, you can actually get a job. To clarify some statements or certain perceptions lots of people have back home, that people get here and then get stranded because they don't find jobs. Trust me, sometimes there are lots of these guys who come into the country or who are being brought into the country by agents or whoever brought them into the country, and then when they are being given the job, they feel like, the kind of jobs they were expecting isn't what they've been introduced to. So therefore, they decide to abandon the kind of job that they've been given right from the onset. Trust me, you are new to the system. You have no idea what the country looks like, and you have no idea where to find a specific job at a particular time. So why not take on that kind of job that you think isn't or below, or you think is below your standard? For the meantime, study the system, know the place, and know how to go about things before you plan or intend on changing or switching jobs. That is actually going to help you well enough than to just reject the kind of offer your agent or whoever brought you into the country offers you in the beginning. You understand? Because the very moment you decide to scrap off that kind of job, trust me, it is very difficult to find another job. Even we who are already in the country try our best to find jobs before we try switching from our old jobs. Me, for instance, I had a stance, like I knew that I wanted to change my job and found a job first before switching from my old company into the new one. You understand? So you just take on the first job. What is most important here in the UAE is your knowledge and your experience of the country. Most companies would actually base on your experience in the country to employ you. I know you were driven to this video because I wanted to teach you on how to get an employment visa into the country. I would like to give you the steps involved when securing yourself a job here in the country, things to consider, and then how to check the validity of your visa, the entry visa that the people send to you, your people, the agents, they send to you as evidence that you are flying over to the UAE. To enter the UAE for employment purposes, your employer in the UAE must first issue you an official work offer that conforms to the standard employment contract adopted in the Ministry of Human Resources and Meritization, which is the entity responsible for regulation for the private sector in the UAE. The employment offer must be duly signed by both the employer and employee and registered with the ministry, and at that point, the employer can apply for a work permit for the employee. You can inquire about the authenticity of a job offer you receive from the UAE through the e-service or call on the toll-free number 800-600. You call on 800-600, and like I said, I am going to leave a link to in the description box below, or use the communication channels provided by the Ministry of Human Resources and Meritization. Read our tips to avoid labor and visa fraud. When you open up the job offer details, this is how it looks like. You will see a section where they tell you transaction number, of which you are going to find on the job offer which is being sent to you. You also enter the company number and then dates from which you are going to be employed, and then to which date it is your employment is going to expire. The permit type is also available for you to select and then submit for immediate information about your offer. So that is the link in the description below. It is very, very important you check on them, because the kind of calls that come in, sometimes I doubt and ask myself, Charlie, what is really going on? Because lots of people are being defrauded. Some people actually, it happened to me once. Like, I was working for a lady whose visa was actually supposed to come through me before I sent it to her. One of the visas came and it was fake. Everything they had typed and sent to me via PDF was fake. This is why I've taken it upon myself to explain things to you here and also give you links to the sites that you can check the validity of each and everything you've been given. One, I have placed a link to the portal in which you can check the validity of your visa via your passport number. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to teach you how you are going to go about that. You will use your passport number to check the validity of the visa, and then a portal in which you can check the validity of the company that is sponsoring your trip. Initial work permit. To process your work permit, the employer will actually ask you to do the following. A color photograph with a white background is to be provided. A copy of the worker's passport valid for 6 months. Which means when you intend to travel to the UAE, you make sure your passport is not less than 6 months valid. Your passport should be about a year valid, 2 years valid. That is in your favor. It is going to be in your favor, because if you come here with a passport that is below the validity of 6 months, your employer, who knows, maybe he or she is fake. He might delay you till the 6 months is over. First of all, he's going to do a visa change for you. After the visa change, he or she might delay you. Your passport is going to expire, and then he or she might not be able to process your residency for you, of which he or she is going to blame you, which is going to go against you personally. Understand? So it is very important you also check the validity of your passport before trying to travel. Now, if you send your passport information or your passport picture to your employer or your agent, whoever it is, and it is below 6 months and they don't demand for any kind of clarification or any form of explanation, trust me, you might be in the wrong hands. Because being in the right hands, if your passport is below 6 months, you are going to be questioned as to why it's not being renewed. So which is going to lead you renewing your passport before you apply for the visa. Authenticated academic qualifications, if required, depending on the job level, whether high school diploma, university degree or equivalent. A letter of approval issued by the competent entity if required for certain posts, such as a physician, a pharmacist, nurse, teacher, and others. Now, also remember that the UAE requires your employer to pay the cost of the issuance of any entry visa and travel to the UAE, and the cost of post-arrival processing requirements such as medical tests in the UAE and the issuance of your residency permit. Beware of your rights. Now, talking of the medical tests in the UAE, I've already dealt that in my previous videos. You can check up on them. Before you intend to travel to the UAE, you must take your health conditions very seriously and try undertaking series of tests, especially on HIV, tuberculosis, hepatitis, before making the move to travel to the UAE, because if not, you are going to be sent back home. Trust me, you will be sent back home. Now, regarding the work permit that is being issued to you, the work permit which is going to be issued to you right from the onset allows you to enter into the country and allows you a maximum of 2 months to stay in the country for your employer to actually finalize your residency permit. Now, with that visa, you are not allowed to work with. You are supposed to stay in the country and then wait until your residency is processed before you start working. Now, working without first obtaining the proper visa status is illegal and could lead to imprisonment, fines, and or deportation. Now, to my fellow people, like hustlers in the UAE, if you are working on a tourist visa, if you are working on a visit visa, just be very careful, because when you are caught, when you are seen working with such visas, you could be in big trouble. Okay, so please be very careful about that. If you are doing that, just be careful. If you are not, don't even try it. Everything I am reading to you right now is being read from the portal of the UAE. I'm not reading from any other source, of which I am going to leave a link to this portal in the description below, so that you can also get to read and get yourself familiarized with this kind of things to consider before getting into the UAE. Expatriates coming to reside in the UAE for employment purpose must be familiar with their rights and obligations. This is why I have taken it upon myself to give you updates on everything that happens here in the country. It is about time we do the right thing, then stop getting things twisted. Stop depending on agents solely for the kind of information that you need. You can also study something out there. You can also do it yourself. You can also get better information for yourself. People have lied to us for a very long time, and it's about time we wake up. This is one of the purposes of this channel, and I am here to help you know what you're supposed to know. I am saying it is not the main purpose because this channel is a multi-channel. It is going to serve a multi-purpose to each and everybody. If you like this video, if this video has been of help to you, don't forget to like it. If it is of importance and you think a fellow should know, keep sharing the link so that each and everybody out there can get a piece of whatever we are sharing here. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please hit on that subscribe button. Hit on it. Hit on it. Because I need that kind of subscription. So please do hit on the subscribe button and become a part of the family. Turn on post notification so that whenever I drop a video here, you get notified and come join me and see what I have in store for you. If you're a returning subscriber, I thank you so much for your support. Thanks so much for the love. I am most grateful. Until we meet again, just stay safe, stay out of trouble, and just be good. See you on the next one.